What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy ABK, and thank you for checking out another one of my weekly Forex and cryptocurrency analysis. I do appreciate it. And if you guys notice a little echo in the background, I do apologize. This is going to be a one-time thing. Just been having some technical difficulties with internet and Wi-Fi at home, so just be aware of that. So let's go ahead and get started. So first, we do have USD news. That's basically all of the high impact news for this week, and that's on Wednesday and Thursday. CPI and PPI. So just watch for that, both at 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Other than that, there's really no other news that we have to watch for. So let's go on over to the charts, right? So DXY, this is something that we have been paying attention to, and we've been saying that, okay, well, first of all, let me go ahead and say that this play that I had mapped out, it didn't play out necessarily. Well, this definitely played out nicely right here. And that's last week's stuff. Let me not talk about last week. I just want to focus on like what's going on to the next week. So I had mentioned that if price didn't stop over here at 92.482, then we'll most likely be seeing price come up to like 92.700s. And so we've already gotten that. Let me go ahead and go over to the time frame and get rid of this full screen. And I'm gonna go ahead and clear everything off. Remove drawings, right? So weekly time frame, we see that we had a bearish engulfing candle last week, but this coming week we had a candle that's retracing to the upside. So that's kind of not showing me too much. That's not showing me too much of a good sign for price to go bearish, like to do a retracement to continue to the upside. And although these aren't necessarily these are bottoms, I'm not liking how there's 2 weeks to the downside like that, and they're very similar, right? So going over to the daily time frame, let me make sure that my mic is on. It is good. Okay. Going on to the daily time frame, we have this bullish candle right here as well. So that's another thing that I'm not really crazy overseeing, but I am going to throw this fib from the high of like 93.192 to the low of 91.782. And I do like the area where it's at right now. I do like seeing this fib zone, and with this fib zone, if price is, hold on, I really don't know why my zero disappeared here. There we go. With price is rejecting off of this 71% fib right here, this is where I'm really watching for the US dollar to start to turn around. I want the US dollar to not go bullish quite yet. I want to wait for it to, hold on, give me a second. Let me change this color. What I want to see is the US dollar really come up to 92.790, or just chill right here, not even go up anymore, just chill over here. I like how I don't care for the candle that it closed with, but I do like the area that it closed inside of. You know, this is where I'm really looking for the US dollar to start to drop. You know, so I'm glad that I was patient. I didn't necessarily try to get in at that other spot where I was talking about. I got in it a little bit early, but then I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna get out. Don't need to try to rush into this, especially with that what's it called again? NFP. I don't know why you're forgetting NFP is. So daily bullish candle, I definitely like seeing that, but ultimately this is what I want to see. Continuation to the downside, and for price to make a lower low. And with that lower low that it will make, I'm going to go ahead and copy this, bring it out over here. This fib, I'm going to change the color of it so that you guys can see the overall. It's just to make it so yellow fibs. So the white fib is going to be for current time frame. I mean, for what I'm currently looking at. But overall, this is the fib that I am going to use to show my overall bias for what I'm looking for price to do overall, right? So what I'm really looking for price to do overall is for it to come and make this retracement, not even from this low, although I do know that it exists, for price to come down to 90.600. I know that does exist. So I'm going to keep that available as a possibility. But what I really want to see price come to is, you see where this is where price really started to take off from this fib, which is like the 70.6 of this fib right here, which is not even terrible. I really would want to see price come to either 90.900 or 90.600 before I look to really start to buy the US dollar. So like I said, for larger time frames or overall move, I'm looking for 90 or 90.900 and 90.600 before price goes bullish to the upside. You know, that's what I'm looking for personally. So still watching for this play. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave this fib off. I'm going to hide it. I already have my areas marked off. Go back to the weekly time frame, and I do want to just point out that there is this zone that is still up here that price has yet to break on the weekly time frame. That like that's when I would really say that yes, this is going to be it's going to go bullish from here once it breaks through this zone, right? So, and that's where even like if price retraces back down and continues to the upside, that's exactly where price ends up landing. So that's a whole bunch of confluence and a whole bunch of interesting areas that I'm looking at to see to make this my opinion. You know, I want to sell short term, but long term I'm bullish on the DXY, but I want that retracement no matter what. Like that's just what I'm going to wait for me to be like, okay, this is where I'm going to jump in and I'm going to hold this trade, you know? So that's for the DXY. Like I said, this is the ultimate move that I'm looking for. But right now this is what I want to see. I want to see price reject off of the sell box and push to the downside. There we go. Okay, let's go on over to arbitrage. Weekly time frame. Weekly time frame has been calling for the buy. I still want to see price come down and retrace back to this lower danger zone. I mean, not to the lower danger zone, to the RSI line and lower danger zone before going bullish. So I'm still waiting on that on the weekly time frame. Daily time frame, it called for the sell right here, but I wasn't so convinced about it, and I still do like the retracement that it made. So I still, again, like although it called for a buy right here, I'm not 100% looking for this buy, but I am aware that arbitrage called for it. 4 hour time frame, this buy played out pretty damn nicely. It didn't necessarily retrace down to the RSI line like I like it, but it did come back down and retrace to the lower danger zone. So I can't say that's not successful. And 1 hour time frame was just a whole bunch of hoopla. So again, I'm just being patient and waiting. Not really waiting, but I'm definitely, like I said, this is where I'm looking to sell the DXY. So if you're the type of person that just wants, like, it sets limit orders and they're just trying to get into a sell right now, their stop losses above these previous highs, by all means, you know. So let's go ahead and see what this does for the DXY. But this is definitely what I've been waiting for. I just don't like the candle that popped up. I don't like going up against bullish engulfing candles like this. It usually leads to price going the opposite way. But we do have USD news, so we can see what happens at the end, towards the end of the week. Going over to Euro USD. I'm watching this for sure. Going over to Euro USD. Same thing with the Euro USD. I had mapped this out, but I was like, this is the trade that I got into. Like right here, I got out the trade. I was like, oh, price is going to end up pushing to the downside. And so, you know, got a minor loss, but, you know, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. And likewise with Euro USD, right? Let me go ahead and delete everything. Come on over to the weekly time frame. Not necessarily caring for this weekly bearish engulfing candle, not liking it at all. So I'm pretty skeptical about if Euro USD is going to indeed go a little bit bullish before going bearish. And let's just do the same thing on this, right? So from this high to this low, or not that one, sorry. So overall, this is what I want to see on Euro USD. I want to see it push up and then continue push it to the downside, right? Or this is, hold on, give me a second. Let me just make sure I'm saying this right. Yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, Euro USD, I definitely want to see it push to the upside literally right now. I want to see it push to the upside just for the retracement. So sell box to push to the downside. This is the big move that I want to see. But as of right now, if I were really to say that there's a solid buy opportunity play on Euro USD, I'd be low-key lying. I'd be low-key capping because, I mean, let's just say from here to here. So this is the overall move that I want to see. Hide that. Make this back into... Oh, no, that is not what I want. Hold on. Okay. So when I'm seeing this, like price is already out of the fib zone from this low to this high, right? Price is already out of that fib zone. So I can't necessarily say that this is a solid play to try to even profit off of, because all I see right now is, okay, price is making this double bottom, if you will, at the support, going to the lower time frame. It just looks very bearish right here. If it holds, cool, but I just feel like at this point that these lows are just gonna get ran through. And a move like this will happen. And then go bullish. If the DXY is indeed going to stay, if the DXY is going to indeed stay here, then we won't experience that, and price is just going to bounce off of this support and go bullish. But however, you know, even with the GBPs as of right now, the GBP is strong while the euro is losing strength. So it's really like I said, that move to the downside, that could be a possibility. That's what I'm going to be watching for here. So I would, like I said, I'm watching for this to see if I can get into a possible play. But I would need some very good price action in these lower time frames before I even start to think about that. Like, because you see, look at this volume that picked up right here. Big volume on the hourly, and price continue pushing to the downside. This is a good sign to say, oh, don't continue trading if we see a big engulfing candle and pushing to the downside, you know. So that's just it. But these lows, they could definitely get ran through. I'm not gonna try to play it. Just gonna be patient with Euro USD. It's a good place to try. Like if you're gonna be risky about it, you could try it, but it's just not for me. Like I said, you know, especially with this volume, how it looks, man. I'm not really, it's not for me. So let me go ahead and actually put volume profile up and see what the volume profile looks like. What's that here? Yeah, okay, I can see definitely price pushing back up here. Okay, so you see, and this is another thing that I'm not caring for. I'm not liking how the 4 hour, the volume profile is all the way up here, because let's just say from this high to this low, look where price is literally winding up to be at. It's literally lining up with these fibs up here at this side. So that's another thing I'm not going to be really caring for, but I'm going to be still watching for, you know. Just have this as a supply zone. So we'll see what happens. All right. Let's go on over to arbitrage on EU. Daily time frame never called anything, so this is pretty solid, I guess. Weekly time frame did call for a sell, but again, I want to see price push up and retest before pushing to the downside again. It's the same thing on technical analysis as I do on RB. 4 hour time frame called for a sell, dropped down hard, and 1 hour time frame very bearish. So nothing really to see here, just watching and seeing what Euro USD really does though. But again, overall, I do want to see price. Ooh, hold on. I like how price is lining. The volume profile on the daily is lining up to my sell box. I really like that. So overall, this fib right here, although it hasn't necessarily hit stop loss, as you guys can see, the stop loss would be placed like at 1.16847. If this is where you would look to be buying at, you wouldn't necessarily have your stop loss hit, but it's just, I'm gonna have to wait for, like I said, a breakout, pull up, retest, continuation. That's what I'm gonna have to wait for at this point. But overall, I do like where, like, you see where the volume control is at. I mean the point of control is at. With this big fib right here, I love how it lines up with that 78.6. So this is something I'm definitely going to be eyeing for. This move, this overall move, I'm still watching for it. Nothing's really changed for me, but for me to try to trade into it at this point in time, it's very difficult, right? So let's go on over to AUD USD. Go ahead and get rid of the point of control over here real quick. AUD USD, I kind of still have the same thing. I'm not going to really change anything here. There's a great opportunity that I could have taken last week that I wasn't able to get into. 4 hour time frame, very bearish, but it does still look like price can still go bullish. I mean, it just looks like it's making higher highs and higher lows. I'll go ahead and broke this right here, that structure. Daily time frame, it's still holding at this overall level, or not level, overall support, but or overall zone, whatever you want to call it. But however, this is a bigger move that I am watching for. Overall, this is the move I want to see. Let me just change this color real quick. Overall, this is the move that I want to see. But I do know that the possibility of price going bullish or making a higher high, especially off of this key zone that it's at right now, is a possibility. Overall, I want that 0.76363 to still happen. But I do know that from this fib, off of the 71%, price can go bullish. It's still at that buying zone, so I'm watching for it, but that's not the play that I want to see. At this point, like I said, all I want to see is 0.76363 get hit, then continue going bullish. Price looks like it's doing, like, I don't know what it looks. It just doesn't look that great to me to try to trade this. Kind of looks like a. It kind of looks like a possible bear flag, but at the same time, Okay, I would love to see this happen. Same thing as with EU, just like a breakout, retest, continuation. That's the type of play that I would look for on AUD USD, personally speaking. And especially just from this previous move up to the upside. Like I know it's just been making like it's just been like kind of consolidating, but not really. It's been like just rising, but very slowly. But from even from this small move right here, we could see that onto the 1 hour time frame, it's much more visible there. From this push to the upside, then price retracing all the way down here, kind of made an ABC pattern, ABC correction. Although this volume, this push to the downside was really hard, I still be looking personally for buys here on AU. So this might be something I actually watch for on market open and try to push it, buy it to the upside. Honestly, I'm not really against buying this. So buy box. So I mean, again, I'm not really against buying this whatsoever, right at these prices. So we'll see what happens. I'm definitely here for the buy on AUD USD though. Volume isn't as crazy as what I would have thought it would have been. So yeah, let's see what's good with this. If it doesn't buy here, my stop loss would be, I'm putting my stop loss like at 0.73130 maybe. I'll still think about it once I see how market opens. But yeah, I'm definitely feeling the buys on AU for now. 1 hour time frame, definitely calling for the sell, or it was bearish, called for the sell. 4 hour time frame never called for the sell, but I'm pretty sure it's about to when market opens. Daily time frame has been very bearish, so trying to sell this, trying to buy this is very risky, especially with the weekly time frame, how it ended up closing. Very risky trying to sell this. So just know that my sell that I'm trying to get into is a risky play, but it's only because of how the US dollar looks. So, and just know that this thing has been calling for itself for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks now. And I do look at this every week. So for the past month and a half, it has been calling for the sell. So let's see what happens with AUD USD. All right, so now, so let's go on over to UCHF. Man, this is another pair that I'm looking at. So, going on over to the regular charts, we can see that from this buy point, man, the UCHF really took off from where I mentioned that I was looking for buys. I'm really actually kind of mad that I didn't get into this because I had the setup, it was there. I don't know what made me really not take it, but it was a perfect buy right there. My stop loss wouldn't have been at break even because if I would have gone into this trade, stop loss would have been right here, although it would have been basically like zero drawdown. The move I was looking for right there. And so 109 pips is what I would have risked. And I would, okay, yeah, my stop loss would be at break even right now. So that's even more of a bummer to see. But I do, however, dang, the way how the price came up, I'm really crazy over it. I do, however, see the possibility of price literally rejecting right here, like in this area, possibly push up a little bit higher and then reject, push back down. But I mean, overall, what I would really want to see at this point is for price to retrace and then continue going bullish, kind of. Not really crazy over trying to buy quite yet. I would really want price to come back down and then go bullish. But even that, it doesn't necessarily look like to me that price is going to go bullish quite yet off of this zone. And it's just based off of how the volume looks like. Because when you really look at this volume, you see that volume was popping right here and then it's just been decreasing. So mean, I do see big volume right here, but on the 4 hour, it just looks like that this is just a correction. That price is probably going to push down to the likes of 0.900, in my opinion, at least. So, especially since I want the DXY to drop where it's at right now, what I'm really trying to see this play out over here. Even if it comes up to all the way over here, I'm really trying to see price low-key just drop, at least come back down to 0.900 and then go bullish. That would be something that I would be interested in seeing. But I'm not convinced that UCHF is going to go bullish quite yet. And if it does, then hey, I missed a hell of a trade. And it is what it is. But like I said, based off of this 4 hour, it's not looking like this is the real move. It doesn't look to me it's the real move, and especially the way how, like, even on the 1 hour time frame, this doesn't look like it's the real move based off of the volume. Let me go ahead and put the volume profiles up on here. Okay, so volume profile even has this possibly going up higher, which I'm not against totally, because if I let me stop being really biased and let me go on to the daily time frame. You see where the volume profile is pointing up to? This can literally be from like this high to this low. It could literally still come up over there. It could literally still come up to like 0.9200 and go bearish. But I'm more in favor of this. And you see how it lines up perfectly with that 78.6. So that's what I'm really looking for. I'm really looking for price to go into 0.91721 and possibly get into a sell, or even at 0.91884. Whichever one of those two gets hit, that's what I'm going to be looking at for sells. And again, I am bullish overall on UCHF, but I want price to get back down like to 0.900 at this point. So let me go ahead and actually mark that. That's where I want, and I have an alert set there because that looks like a pretty decent spot for me, no cap. So, but over here, sell box. Let's see what happens. I really want to see price drop from here. So this is the play that I'm looking for. To do a little stop hunt type vibe and then drop. That'd be solid for me. Daily time frame, it called for the sell. It's retesting right at the RSI line. It could possibly go a little bit more bullish, especially with that bullish engulfing candle like that. Weekly time frame, it has been rejecting off of this RSI line right here. So I can't, if this really does go bullish, then I can't fault it for going bullish, because like both on the swing buy that I mentioned on the beginning of this USDCHF analysis and this weekly time frame, price should be going bullish. So if it does, I can't get mad, because that's the play. 4 hour time frame called a buy, played out to perfection. I don't know why I didn't get into that. I mean, last week was just a weird week. I had just moved and stuff, so it was a weird week. But yeah, overall, UCHF, I want to see what it's going to do next. I'm not rushing into it, so that's another thing I'm going to be watching for sure. These US indices, I've been telling y'all, as long as it's in this box, be aware of it. But it pushed to the upside, just like how I thought it was. Leave it alone. Like, this thing is just bullish. Like, it's not for me to trade. It's really not for me to trade. Like, remember, I was saying, wait for it to do either one. And you see how at first, let me make sure that it was last week. Yeah, this was last week. You see how it faked out as if it was going to push to the downside, and then it went bullish. You have a better chance of buying these things rather than selling it. I keep saying it every week. Same thing here. You see how it faked out to the downside and then went bullish? You have a better chance at buying these every week rather than selling them. NASDAQ, same thing. You have a better chance at buying them rather than selling them. Again, I'm not going to go over them because there's no point in them and point in me doing that. Let's look at USD Mexican pesos though. These pesos, man. All right, so I thought price was going to end up stopping to the downside. It never did. It just kept bouncing off of this support, but I'm still very cautious of this pair. And it just looks like to me that it's lining up for it to possibly sell. Right? It just went off of this 61.8 fib right there. and then dropped right down right after. I'm watching this for a potential fall. I want to see if it's going to come up to 20.11824 and then go bearish some more before I think to buy it. Because again, this big time frame head and shoulders is still playing out. So I'm not really going to try to go up against it quite yet. I want that stock into the downside at least before I try it. Okay, so that's for USD Mexican. Let me go into arbitrage real quick and see what it's looking like. Okay, I don't like how that 1 hour looks. 4 hour time frame just hit that upper danger zone from this buy. Man, this would have been a good play on arbitrage, no lie. Played out nicely. Dang, arbitrage really be hitting on the 4 hour for USD Mexican sometimes. Daily time frame looks terrible. Called for the sell, never called for the buy, although it could definitely call for. You see how it's consolidating here? I need a breakout at this point. That's why I'm not really trading USD Mexican like that. I need a breakout at this point. And the weekly time frame does look like it could be calling for a buy very shortly, but I'm not really looking into that. So that's for USD Mexican. Just going over to Mr. Gold. Well, like I mentioned, we never got the play that this happened on gold. I never got into this trade, so it is what it is. There were some people, they were really trying to buy this, once price did all of that, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. I had mentioned it in my chat that I'm like, oh, well, this is no longer tradable for me. So let's see what else we have here, though. Okay. So gold ended up pushing down lower than I expected. Oh, wow. So this is the move I'm looking for overall. I'm still looking for 1869. But the way how this pushed down and the volume that it came with on the 4 hour, man, it's tough. Weekly time frame, and this weekly bearish engulfing candle. Yeah, looks like it's just gonna keep falling at this point. Let's see. Let's see what we have here on the fibs from this high. From this low to this high. Price came slower than these fibs right here, but this is what I was looking for like a week or two ago. This is what play I was looking for, and it never happened because price was still holding at these lows. But again, of course, and this is what I was talking about when I was saying that, oh, this is where retail traders were trying to buy off of. You see how price they did indeed make prop money off of it. The price never went any higher. It stopped at these highs and then ended up falling and breaking through these lows. That's what I meant. That's what I thought was going to happen last week, or I think the week before. Whichever one of those weeks I was talking about that, but it never played out. So, it is what it is. But overall, what I can see, wait, hold on. Let me make sure that this is... weird. Anyways, so overall, what I would want to see is to see what's gonna hold here. I do obviously see that there's this little zone right here. I don't even want to draw that. There's this little zone right here that price can definitely hold at. I definitely do see it because it's held here, it's held here, it's held here, it's held here, and you see all the wicks that the price action that happens when it touches here. So this could definitely be a level where price really holds, but I'm not giving gold the benefit of the doubt and saying that that's exactly where it's going to stop. I'm going to have to wait because after seeing the weekly and the daily candles, it's hard for me to say that this is where price is going to stop. All these wicks to the up, no, it's kind of hard to tell, but I'm waiting, being patient. This is why being patient is always key, man, because I haven't traded gold in how many weeks now, just because I don't see a play on it, and that's the best way how to play things. So gold on the weekly time frame called for a sell last week, but it's hit the lower danger zone. So we're gonna have to be patient and wait to see what gold's really gonna do. But overall, like I said last month, that on the monthly, when I did the monthly analysis last week, that this is probably setting up for a potential drop overall. Daily time frame, yeah, this doesn't look like great. trade. So just gotta be patient with gold. Bitty Bitcoin. Peyton had mentioned that he wanted to see this push to the upside. And I love seeing price breaking out. I love seeing price breaking out of this. I personally wanted the retracement down to 33,000. That never happened. I was mentioning right here. If price holds, we can expect price to go bullish, and that's indeed what it did. So let's see what happens though, because I'm not caring for the daily, that wick to the upside like that. I'm not caring for it, but I do want to see price continue going bullish. So this was clean right here. I wish I would have got in there. But like Peyton had mentioned, we've been talking about dollar cost averaging more on these cryptos than anything. And we've been talking about this ever since the drop has happened. And so same thing applies with Ripple and stuff, guys. Like I'm not really gonna give any setups on this, because these cryptos, they just look like they want to go bullish at this point. And if they do, I'll be happy about that. Because again, we've been talking about dollar cost averaging rather than trying to trade these on margin. So let's go on over to RB. Like I said, these plays for margin, they weren't giving us those vibes. I like what I'm seeing on Ripple, Bitcoin. I like what I'm seeing. I need it to break out. I need it to go higher. Come on, go higher. If it go higher, that'd be great. Ethereum doing the digital dash. 3.6K is definitely going to be loading. 3.6K is definitely loading. Good call out from Peyton. It's finally broken through the supply zone. I'm happy to see that. 3.6K is loading. But okay, remember guys, that 3.6K level is going to be a very interesting level to watch, because, and this is not just, I'm not trying to be negative Nancy like I usually say. I just like looking at both sides. 3.6K, that could be literally a place where price could start going to continue to the downside, although I doubt that that's what's going to happen. Or not that I doubt it, that's not what I want to see. I'm just pointing it out there that it is a possibility. But Ethereum, I love how it came here and said, no, I'm not ready to buy, I'm not ready to sell yet, and took off on this arbitrage right here. Sweet. Okay, Litecoin, I feel like Litecoin is not underplaying, but it's underperforming way more than the other cryptocurrencies, which, hey, it is what it is. Like I said, that's why I don't even know why I'm analyzing it, because I mentioned I'm not going to analyze it. All right, so let's go on over to GPUSD, right? So GU, I had mentioned for a sell last week. I had mentioned, move your stop loss to break even. That stop loss at break even never got hit. Price ended up continuing to the downside. And, it's just, I don't really care that it came down. Let me get rid of all this because this already played out. I don't really care for how price is just holding at this zone right here. It just makes me feel like price is probably going to end up going bullish a little bit, like this. This is what it makes me feel like price is going to end up just going bullish and then falling again. So I'm going to be waiting on GU. If you're still in that GU sell, I encourage you to keep it. I definitely encourage you to keep it, and keep taking price to the downside. From, like I said, from this higher time frame fit, from this high to this low, price retraced, came to this 71%, and it's been doing pretty nicely ever since, but it hasn't done its full potential yet. So with GU, like I said, if you're in the sell, I would hold it, but be careful because price can just retrace. Weekly time frame still looks like price is setting up for a potential sell. Daily time frame, this buy that GU had called. If price comes to this RSI line, I don't necessarily know if I want price to sell. I don't want price to go bullish. I want price to continue going bearish realistically, because then that's gonna make Euro GBP go bullish. So I'm gonna keep looking for sells on GU, preferably. That's what I'm looking for. And this GU seller got called right here. I mean, it was sloppy. It's a little sloppy, but I expect this to continue going to the downside. So that's for GU, man. Like the plays was from last week, and just keep. I mean, like I said, at this point, I kind of have to wait and see what price is gonna do at this zone. But I want to see it either break out and keep falling, or it's gonna retest and come back up here and then fall again. Don't really have anything clear on GU white right now. Okay. Going over to GA. GA, I had this set up here where I wanted price to come up to 1.189084. Might not get that, honestly speaking. That might not happen. This could be what's possibly going to happen, where prices reject something here. But nonetheless, I'm still looking for the same play. Nothing's really changed for me. GA 4-hour time frame called for the sell. It's still very much valid, although price is above the RSI line. But again, I still want to see this play out, like over here, 1.18900. That'd be solid, and then price drop. I don't even think that RB would call for the buy if it did that. It depends, right? Daily time frame has been extremely bullish. So I would definitely not want to play that. And the weekly, not for me. 1 hour time frame, yeah, this isn't a play for me either. So I'm still waiting for the original setup from last week on GA. Nothing's really changed for me. GBP JPY, man. So this trade that I had gotten into, it hit my stop loss. It wicked it and then came right back down. So that is kind of irritating to me. And it's still holding at this overall GBP JPY swing at this 78.6. So I think next week I'm gonna take my shot, especially the way how GU looks. I'm gonna take my shot and try to sell it at where it's currently at. Maybe, I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna have to kind of wait. I don't care how it just wicked me out like that, you know? But overall, like I said, I want these GBPs to fall. So I'm not totally against trying to sell this where it's at right now, realistically speaking. It's just a swing offer. It's just a swing trade, 137 pips. And you know, if I even ever go to the lower time frame, go into the 1 hour time frame, and from this high right here to the low, like you can even see it's still at the fib. Like price is still currently at this fib range, so it's not even a bad area to try to sell this and have your stop loss at 153.517. So that's what I'm going to be looking at on GJ next week when it opens. I am going to get into this. And if it doesn't play out, then that means that the GGs are just really going to go bearish. No cap. 1 to 5.8 reward ratio. That's amazing. I'm gonna definitely try that out. Because look, even with Euro GBP, if you go on to, let me go on to even onto Euro GBP here, this sell that the buy that I got into, it didn't play out. All this weekly time frame, it's still holding at these equal lows right here on the weekly. I don't care how this looks. I've been talking about how this wasn't appealing for me to try to get into a buy for that, but I can see that price is still holding on to here. If the euro gains strength, then I would expect price to hold at this equal low and then continue going bullish. And I'm even going to go into the daily time frame so I can extend this out a little more. Weekly time frame. What can we kind of see here? I know it's kind of bougie, but it looks to me like this is a head and shoulders. Inverted head and shoulders, that is. So if this holds right here, then I do expect Euro GBP to go bullish, which will then make GBP USD, GBP, JPY, and the other GBPs end up falling. But if it doesn't play out, then it doesn't play out. But again, that's what I want to see. I really want to see. I don't want to see a stop out to the downside. I want to see price go bullish, at least even to these equal highs on the weekly. Like overall, that's what I want to see. But trying to buy EG or trying to sell it right now. For me personally, I'd rather sell it than buy it. I'd rather buy it than sell it, but the price action is not there for me to buy it. So I have to wait for this as well. And if I go into arbitrage, everything is going to be bearish. So just got to wait. And with that being said, y'all, this is my weekly Forex analysis. I do appreciate y'all for hopping on and checking it out. And let's see what we have this week. Later, y'all.